Hello, Eric Gibaud, Gibaud.com, and today I'm going to present you the first camera I bought in my life. I was 11 years old in the year 1978. Here it is, a Kodak 177X, and I also found some of the first picture I made in my life, a small selection, and from the 11 to 14 years old. So I'm going to present you all that. Let's start. First of all, thank you to my parents who actually cared about this camera and the pictures. They kept it for many years, obviously, because many years have passed. And so the story of this camera, I was going to do to spend the summer, like a month, something like this, in a summer camp for kids, and I wanted to have a camera. So I had some pocket money I've saved, and I remember I paid something like 110 French francs for it. And that was my first camera. And the first thing my father did was to get some scissors, the really pointy scissors, and really sharp at the top. And he engraved my name and surname here. So he said, so if someone steals a camera from you, you will know that it is your camera. And he did the same thing in the pouch that comes here, my name and surname. So this is my father writing. It was mine. Okay, so that was the start of the story. You know, obviously I didn't do the kind of picture I do now. It was a different way of using a camera, just for the souvenir, the same as someone would use a compact camera or a smartphone sometimes. Some do in different ways, but many people do this way. So I'm going to tell you a bit more about the camera and about my pictures. So here's the camera. It was made between the year 1976 and 1984. They were made in Germany, in England, and also in Argentina, for what I've read. Mine was made in Germany. It's written here, made in Germany. It's fully plastic, well, not fully plastic, most plastic, but there are some parts that are metal, like the trigger here, as you can see, is in metal, and also the back. I can see if I press here, open the back, and this small lock is in metal. Okay. On the front, you have just one lens. You cannot change lenses, and this is 43mm. At f11 fixed, you cannot change f11. And you don't have much options. The one you have here is like you have a small sun, and here you have a small sun behind a small cloud and a small bulb. So what is that? Well, actually, if you were in a sunny situation, you would put on the small, you would turn here to put on sun, and then you would have a speed of 1/80th of a second. And then if it was cloudy or you were using a flash, you turn here, down here, and the speed would be 1/40th of a second, which is a low speed, but this is really logical because at f11 there was not much light, so you'd have no other choice than dropping the speed as much as you could. Yes, I spoke about flash, so you think, wow, this camera has a flash? Yes, it had a flash. Actually, I don't have any here, but it's a small cube, magic cube. You would put it on here. As you can see, you have a small place to put it. And when you would actually put the cube, as you can see here, I don't know if you see it, there's a small piece of metal that comes out. And this small piece of metal, when you would press the shutter, actually it will pull a small piece of metal in the cube, and then it will be like a chemical explosion of some powder, and you would get light. Okay, so on your cube you had four sides, and when you would arm the camera, you would see the cube turn like this, and you can make four flash bursts with one cube. Okay. If we look at the camera itself, if we look at the film it uses, so open here. The film was placed in a cartridge. The format was called 126, and actually Kodak did not complicate themselves making different kind of film. It's actually 135 film, which is 36 by 24, and it was in there. But instead of having small holes on both sides, it was just on one side. Okay, so this way you would actually get the height of the film was actually 28mm instead of 24 in the 36 by 24. So actually you would have a film that would be higher than what we call now full frame, which is really funny to me when I think about it. Okay. And the format will be square, So you will have a 28 by 28 millimeter negative. And this film, you could find them in 24 and 12 exposure. I can't remember if you could get them in 36. I think it was not possible. You had 12 and 24. This is what I think I remember, okay? Here you have nothing to do about focusing. There is no autofocus, obviously. There is no manual focus either. It's actually focusing from 1.20 meters up to infinity. So if you would make a picture, you would have to make sure that it would be at least 1.2 meters away. The viewfinder is a simple hole in there with some glass, okay? And you actually have a small frame line, so you can look and you can actually frame. You see the small square in there, so you can frame it in square. So it's really, really, really easy to use. In the back here, you have a small window, as you can see here, okay? So you could actually see in the back of the film, there was probably a thing of the paper on the back of the film, you would actually see a small number that would indicate how many pictures you had taken and how many you could think how many you had left. Okay, so it was really, really basic, easy to use. In case you would like to buy a camera like this, or you have a camera like this and you would like to use it, unfortunately the film, the 126 format film is not made anymore. But there are several options. One, there is an adapter that you can actually use 135 film, 36 by 24. You have to load it in the dark, this adapter, and get a normal film, standard film, and put it in there in the dark. But in this case, you have the hole on both sides. So part of your picture would have some small holes, okay? But that's one option. And the other option is to buy expired films. You could actually find them sometime on eBay, but it's important that these films have been frozen or in the fridge, because otherwise the color may be a bit strange, because this film format was made until 2008, which is not that long ago, 2008, well, that long, 12 years already, but well, that's not that long to me. And the thing is, you may have really strange results if it was not properly protected in a fridge or freezer. But sometimes you like it because you want really funny results, and maybe really random, so that could be okay to you. So basically this is something that is really easy to use, this camera. It was like anyone, many millions of people had that camera. They would just point like this and shoot, you know, like this, frame, and that's it. And we were millions to have had this camera. So now I'm going to speak to you a bit more about my pictures. So my pictures, well, my first pictures, well, first of all, my father scanned the picture with a normal standard scanner, a printer scanner, so the quality is not there. So to have them in large on the screen, he scanned them, and then I edited a bit to try to fix about the colors, but it's not perfect, okay? But here they are. So these pictures, these two, were probably the first roll of film I've ever made in my life, okay? It was in July 78. And this is a castle in Angers, in the city of France of Angers, where I was close to the summer camp where I was staying. And here are the flowers you would see from actually the top of the castle. I remember some garden down there, and also something else, I can't remember what that was, but seen from the castle also. So these are probably the first two pictures I ever made. As you can see, it was in an album, so the colors are a bit faded. When I scan, I actually fixed it a bit, so what you see on screen is slightly better, okay? And then a few years passed, I made more pictures, I've seen some of them, but I think it was not as interesting. And these are the pictures I made during my first travel alone abroad, okay? I went to London for summer alone. I mean, I was in a family, obviously, I was 14 years old, okay? So here are the first pictures. Here is a Rolls Royce, because I was really impressed by Rolls Royce. In France you don't have that many, okay? Then I can't remember where this place is. I think it's Coventry, I can't remember the name. It sounds something to me. If I remember the name, I'll put it in the video, otherwise, well, you'll tell me in comments, okay? Here, when the change of guard at Buckingham Palace, just before, that's this horse cars that arrive. Then you have a Bobby, a policeman. I'm really proud of the composition here, because although it's true that I actually cut the wheel here on the car, but my policeman is in a third, and it's full. There's a tree, all that. So I think it's not that bad. Okay. Here, I think this is Windsor, if I can remember, the castle of Windsor. As you can see, I had no idea about photography, nothing. But as you can see, it goes. The reading goes from left to right, so that's not that bad. Okay, well, left to right. Okay, not that bad. And here, that could be my first street photo, first or among the first. As you can see, it is the typical double-decker. And the bus with the 2 floors, okay, for people who don't know the word double-decker. And I think I like this picture. It's not that bad framed. It's a bit too large, okay, but that's okay. So these were my actually first pictures. So I'm a bit surprised when I look at the composition and the framing. I think it's not that bad. And then it makes me think of one thing, that very often some people who like their kid, or their kid want to have a camera and start making pictures, but nowadays, most of them, they want a smartphone to do it. And if a kid is like 13, 14, yeah, he'll probably have a smartphone anyway. But when the kid is maybe 8 or 7, maybe you don't want him to have a smartphone, because you don't want that kid to be all the time on the phone or whatever, or for whatever reason. So maybe that would be wise to give him, or to, as a gift, to give a compact camera. That would be a great way for that person, that kid, to be creative, without thinking about rules. Just capture what he feels, all this, and then he will have time to learn things, all that, but to have fun with the small camera. So that could be interesting. I think it's something to think about. If your kid would like to make pictures, and you think he's too young to have a smartphone, giving him a small compact camera would be maybe a good idea. Okay, so I'm really pleased to have shared this moment with you. This moment I find my camera and I touch it again and see these pictures again and share it with you. I really liked it, and thank you for your time for that. And if you feel this video is interesting for other people, please share it on social networks. If you have not done yet, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. There's a small button down here and also a small bell. If you click on the bell, you get notified when I upload a new video. My website, ericgibaud.com. And if you have any question, can leave a comment below. And also below, I'll put in description links of my gear on Amazon. Well, you will not find this camera on Amazon, I think. And also links to other part of my YouTube channel. Thank you very much. Please take care of yourself and see you soon. Bye.